Wednesday, we have our mastermind. Tonight, we have a celebrity guest along with the backup singers. We got Chris, 𝗹𝗶𝗿𝗶 Academy. Now, she's been in the industry over 30 years.
Yeah.
She transitioned from the nail salon that she was an owner to a nail school owner in a record pace. She opened in a record pace. She's graduated students in a record pace. She's filled that school up in a record pace. All this has been since she started. Now, I'm not going to talk a lot. She does everything first class. Her grand opening, the ribbon cutting, first class. She dresses, first class. She looks, first class. Everything she does is first class. So, Chris, I want you to tell them about where you came from, where you're at now, about you opening your school. Just take us through the journey because we got a lot of people on here listening to you.
Okay, well, hi, Chen and everybody on Millionaire Barber Zoom and on our live. We are so happy to be here. So when I talked to you, Chen, we only had 2 graduates. And as of tonight, we have Raven.
We got 3.
We have 3 now. So I am super excited. These were my first part of my first class. And I mean, the first ladies that trusted me with their education and with their everything.
There's one hiding behind you. She gonna have to book. We gotta see all of y'all now.
So we have Renee, which was the first one over here. And then we have 𝗕𝗵𝗶𝗰𝗹 here. And then we have Raven over here.
We got Raven.
Yeah, so let me let my chair down so you can see them a little better.
Okay.
So we are like so excited to be here. I was glad to be staying late because Raven needed some extra hours, so she'll be done in the morning. So we're staying late. She's still on the clock. She's doing some work. This is branding and marketing part of her class, so she's fine. These 2 young ladies actually finished last week, but today we were doing state board prep. We do mock every week, so I just want to make sure that they're fully prepared. So they just stayed later so that we could be a part of your Zoom and your live with everybody. And so we're live on our page too. So everybody who's on our live, make sure you're following Millionaire Barber and go to the link in his bio so that you can be on our Zoom and see how.
I got mine on too. I got my live. Now take us on the journey, Chris, because you just didn't drop out the sky and open this school.
No, I didn't just drop out the sky.
Take us from the journey. I know you're a Detroit woman. You're from Detroit. The hair capital of the world.
Yeah, the hair and nails capital of the world, actually.
Yes.
So I'm originally from Detroit. I've lived in like DC, I've lived in LA, but Detroit is my home. That's where my family is from. My mom, Elaine Boyer, was I guess she still is a licensed cosmetologist and instructor. So I grew up in a hair salon, you know, that child that's in the back that hears too much and sees way too much in the salon. And I didn't really think that this was my calling at that age, but I knew that I loved the beauty industry, and my mom, she just didn't want me to do it. She didn't encourage it at all. So, but I was that kid sitting in the back playing with fashion plates and coloring and, you know, just playing with makeup and stuff. So I think like on some level, I knew that it was a part of what I was gonna be doing, but I'm a 3rd generation entrepreneur and 2nd generation beauty industry professional. So I'm just glad to be here. And now I'm a 1st generation school owner.
So you graduated high school, then what? Take us on this journey up.
Nope, people probably think didn't graduate high school, was way too.
You went to college.
Yeah, I did.
So okay, well let's
oh gosh. Shan, so you didn't know all this. My students, they didn't know this, didn't graduate high school, took the California high school proficiency test, didn't pass it because I was probably just somewhere being too grown and didn't study because I've always been extremely smart, and was in like a high school college program for engineering. And that's what my mom wanted me to do. So I don't know how I bypassed like graduation and ended up at Northrop University for aerospace engineering, but I did. And I was there for 2 years. And again, thought that I was grown, I think. No, not I think, I know I did. And after a couple of years, moved to DC with my children's father. And when I got there, my intention was to finish at University of Maryland, but I just decided I'm just gonna do nails. So Carolyn Marshall, who is a huge like industry veteran, gave me my first job at InFlight with Tanya Timus, who, you know, is a big industry professional. And I just started doing nails. And that was 33 years ago. So I started doing nails, didn't have a license like most, I hate to say it, like most people in Detroit don't have a license, but was definitely gifted. So I started doing nails and I've been doing them ever since. And then I moved to, the reason I ended up getting licensed because I moved to Charlotte 13 years ago, and Charlotte don't play like Detroit. Like Detroit, I mean, everybody just kind of doing whatever. They got hair salons everywhere. You can be a celebrity hairstylist. You don't have to be licensed. You don't have to be anything except for good, right? Because State Board is not walking around in Detroit checking licenses or checking for anything. And but when I moved to Charlotte, probably I opened a salon in a suite, and my daughter was working with me, and I got fined twice. I got fined for working, and I was busy. I mean, tearing the doors down. Moved to Charlotte, one of the, you know, first, I guess, popular nail techs. People were saying they had never seen a Black person do nails. So for me, that was odd because in Detroit, everyone did hair and nails, you know. So, but after getting fined a couple of times, I decided I'm gonna go ahead and get my license and become a professional. And so I got my license. I've been licensed here in Charlotte for 12 years. And in these 12 years, I mean, I've become an educator for Tammy Taylor Nails. I'm a ambassador for 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 them. And I was an educator for 𝗪𝗲. So just in those 12 years, my career has skyrocketed just because I was obedient, I guess, and because I really wanted more for myself and for my family. And so last year, a friend of mine, 𝗪𝗵𝗫, told me, you know, that she had been studying to take her instructor's license and that she was thinking about opening a school and I should do the same thing. And this was when we were during shutdown. So like in July, and from July, I guess like June, July, Mary was talking with you and, you know, had took your ClickFunnels class and then was like, we should open a school. And I was like, okay. So then it was like, am I opening in Georgia? I'm going to open one here. So she opened one in Georgia. Well, she started taking the test. I took my test for, actually, I didn't go to school for instructor because of course I'm a smarty pants. And I was just like, I'm going to just challenge the board. I'm going to tell them that I don't need to go to school. I'm going to just take the test and I'm going to pass because that's just what I do. And that's what my students do. So they have a procedure in North Carolina that if you've been licensed for a certain amount of time, you can bypass going to school to become an instructor if you can pass the test. So I passed the test the first time. I studied like crazy, still running my salon, and I passed the first time. But not only do I have a nail instructor license, I have an aesthetics instructor license. So I challenged the board in the same month for both licenses because my dream is to have both nails and aesthetics in my school. So that was July, September, you know, around then. And after that, then I joined the program with you. And like you said, it was record time because it was just the right time. I had the resources and my family was supporting me in doing it. And I set about looking for a location. I was really planning to close my salon and just have the school there because I have a salon that's uptown in Charlotte, has great parking. And I thought like, this would be a good place for a school. And the more I drove around, I was like, no, I need a separate location because I need to be able to feed my salon. Similar to the, I guess the model that the No Grease brothers have, the Johnson brothers here, which was every time I had people come into the salon saying they wanted to work, they would be just getting out of school and they didn't know what I felt that they need to know to be salon ready. And it was very frustrating because I would train them, get them up to speed, still be paying them, and then they would leave because now they know everything they need to know. So for me, I was like, well, how do I kind of change the narrative and, you know, just not be so taxing on my body anymore, working behind a chair, you know, 10, 12 hours a day. So I opened a school with the intention of I would have some place for my students to go work when they graduated, because that was also an issue here in Charlotte. And I think a lot of places you have, African-American professionals who graduate from school who don't have anywhere to work. They don't have anybody to mentor them. And I was like, well, you know what, this is better than the other situation, because I was doing it, I won't say for free, but I was emotionally attached to my employees. And then when they would leave, I would just be like upset all the time. So with these are my students. They pay me to be here. I'm excited to train them and give them everything. And, like I tell them every day, I want to leave empty. Like, whatever you want to know, I'm free to tell you. I don't have any issues with sharing, because I'm not feeling like someone's trying to replace me.
Now, when you joined the program, tell them how long it took you before you opened the school. Or you can tell them about that.
It was
a couple of months, wasn't it?
It was a couple months, but I had my contracts and stuff probably within 6 weeks, but I wasn't telling anybody because I didn't want my clients to like start leaving. It was right before the holidays. And I was just like, I'm just working quietly, but they knew that I was in school to get my instructor's license, but I think they still thought like, she's going to still be here doing nails. Like, she's not going to leave. Chris just likes to take classes and become educators for companies. Like, she's going to still be here, to service us. So I wasn't saying anything because, I needed the money still because I was trying to open a school, and it was right before the holidays and I was a little apprehensive. So in November, I made the announcement that I was going to be opening the school, and people were really excited. But I think like my clients still was like, oh, so you're gonna open a school, but what days are you gonna be here? And I would be like, well, maybe like 20 or 30% of the time, maybe I can keep some of my clients, because that's what you told me. You're like, well, you can still do some of your clients at the school as long as students are around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's not accurate. Not for me anyway. Yeah, my clients, they were not going for that. But so I have something that I had not done before is trusted someone else to run my salon. So I literally moved out of my salon on January 2nd. And I have a salon manager now, and I have other employees there. And then I have 2 new employees that are going to be going there. And I'm just excited for them.
Tell them about the ribbon cutting. How did that feel?
Oh, that was amazing. So we had, sent out the Evite and told people about it, but I didn't think it was going to be a big turnout because we're still in North Carolina. We were still like on shutdown, and people were telling me, you can't have it because, people will call and tell on you. And every day I was like, Lord, please don't let anybody call and tell the police that we're having this. But I still didn't know how many people were coming, but I had hired a caterer and, a DJ and a photographer. My family had flew in from out of town, and I was not sure how many people was going to come. But when we came out of that door, and it was like so many people outside, like cheering for me, and just, it was really like, it was amazing, the outpouring of love from both my clients and some people like I didn't know. Like I met someone on Clubhouse and she came, and it was just really crazy.
So getting to school
in a good way though.
How did it feel driving up to your school, being a school owner versus going to the shop? Well, yeah. I mean, how does it feel inside?
It feels so, like a lot of times I'll come early by myself, and every time I open the door, I just be like, thank you, Jesus. Like, thank you, God. This is just, a dream. Like, one of the things that you say, like, I've never seen anybody that look like me own a school, right? So I didn't have any models or examples other than the things that you told me about and talked to my husband about. And I just, said I take chances on everything else and take risk on, other things in business. So I decided to take a risk on myself. So it feels really great. Actually, I don't even go to my salon that much anymore. Yeah, I don't.
So how did you feel talking to me back then? Because we didn't know each other.
We didn't know each other, but I trusted Mary, right? Because she's probably not more particular than me, but probably less trusting than I am. And I was just like, well, I'm going to take a chance. He's been successful. I didn't do a whole lot of research, but I did enough. And I really am big on like a person's energy and just how I felt about it. And when I was talking to you, I never felt like you was trying to scam me. And then if you would have, I probably would have just disputed it. So it would have just been fine. But I felt very comfortable just based on what I knew from other people. And I just said, why not me? So I'm here.
Now, when you wake up in the morning, do you feel any different now going to the school versus waking up, going to the shop?
Yeah, I do, because when I was at the shop, I literally had to like get deep tissue massages like about every 2 weeks. There was a period of time where I was going every week because I was sitting all day, head bent over, you know, filing. It was just very taxing on my body. And I was starting to feel it, you know, I was starting to feel it physically. Now when I get up, you know, I get up and I go work out. I actually have a lunch hour, which I didn't really give myself before. Not that I couldn't afford to, but just the hustle and bustle and the flow of being in the salon, I just never kind of gave myself that room to do that. But now, you know, I feel very comfortable where I am.
How was it signing up your first group of students?
Okay, well, let's see. Well, actually, the first person that signed up, that registered, her name was Tammy, but she registered and then she didn't even come until this second phase, which was, you know, at first when she, you know, her mom called me, right, and said that she wanted to do it. So I was like, okay, this is my first student. I told my husband, and then she never paid the rest of her money. I'm like, what the hell? So, but now she's in my second group of students. So 𝗫 was actually my first student that paid. She's over here. 𝗫 didn't even know how to hold a nail brush. She didn't even know how to hold a nail brush. And then Raven, she was, well, we had talked before 𝗫 came, but she had DM'd me and she was like, I've been looking for a school, and she actually graduated with her bachelor's the week before I opened. So she graduated from UNCC and then the next week came straight to nail school. And so I was really excited. And then Sierra, like, these are the first three actually that paid me. And so they're the first three to graduate. I just realized that. Wow. Sierra came in and was talking to me and was crying from across the room because she was so nervous, you know, because nobody looks like me opens a school and then they come and it's not like bootleg. It's like a nice place and it's clean. And, you know, I think that we're welcoming here, and it's just good. What does it feel like for y'all when y'all come here? When you first came?
Yeah, like a safe haven.
Yeah.
Like I learned more than nails. I learned like life skills, life lessons, like that I can take, you know, forever and ever.
Yes.
I'm not
Oh, she's liable to cry on us. So yeah. So, but
now, do they realize that you teaching them stuff that other nail techs are not learning, that they got to pay thousands of dollars to go take these advanced classes? Do they know that, Chris?
I don't know.
Yeah. We learned that like the third week.
The third week they figured that out.
Yeah.
And you know, like even now with this second group of students, I think I'm even more comfortable and even teaching them even more, giving them more insight in the way I think. And, you know, we're doing more things that I didn't do with my first class. Cause you know, you just kind of like, I don't know if I want to talk about that. So I'm very like clear and transparent with my students. But for a lot of them, I mean, I think meeting someone like me who is doing what I'm doing and just is so, I think, free with the information, you know, and I've never been this free, like to just tell people, you know, oh yeah, you can do this. Let me, you know, one of the girls, she didn't know how to set up her business. Said, oh, let me go on IRS and do it for you. In the past, I would have been feeling like this person is trying to like, you know, steal my business or take over or whatever. I don't feel that. I'm more than happy to help my students.
How did you feel for your mom to see you do this, Chris? Tell them about that.
Oh, I think, you know, my mom, I hope, well, I know she is. My mom is extremely proud of what I'm doing. You know, like, I'm sure she's never seen anything like it. She's been an instructor in the past, but like Marinello School is a school in California, 𝗕𝗿𝗆 Beauty, and Rollo School of Beauty. I remember being a young girl going with my mom, even when she was teaching at schools. And, you know, it's just kind of funny, like, not funny, more like, I guess, it's supposed to be that I've saw all those things and somewhere in my subconscious, like this was gonna be my life. So.
Did you name that classroom after?
I don't know if my mom's on the live right now.
Oh, you don't. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you ain't okay.
Yeah.
We'll keep going.
But our graduation is the 11th, and my mom is coming to celebrate with us for that. So we're having a brunch at Good Life Enderley Park, which is a Black-owned, women-led event space. So if you thought the grand opening was big, oh
Hey,
boy.
that grand opening was big.
This can, these girls deserve to be celebrated. So, my family is flying back in to help, with the first class, just really kind of ushering them in, and just so excited for them. Tammy Taylor, who, like I said, is one of my mentors, but also she created a online educational platform for me, for my school. My school's the first one to do it. She had been doing it for 𝗙𝗏𝗿𝗀 for their 1 week like nail boot camp. And then when I told her what I was trying to do, it's just like everything just kind of happened. She's like, oh, we can do that for you. And I mean, they built 18 modules of education and put it on the Canvas Instructure platform so that my students could be able to study virtually. And State Board gave us approval to do 90 hours, for them to do 90 hours virtual and 210 in person. So that really, makes it easy for my students who have children or who still are working and, want to enter into the new market. So
now, how's your family been for them to see you open a school?
Well, my daughter had a 30th birthday this past weekend, my youngest daughter. And one of the things that she was talking about was how her mom opened a school in the midst of a pandemic, like just to hear my kids talk about how proud of me they are and how like, my one daughter calls me like boss Barbie or something. But it just makes me happy to make them proud, to make my daughters proud, my husband, stuff like that. So.
Now,
and the other thing, Chen, I know that people are watching because they DM me and ask me questions about you, like, hey, I'm thinking about it. And I know that, you bought his program. Did it work? What did you think? And I'm just thinking to myself, like, you see, it worked. I'm here. So, anybody, I guess I should say anyone who's thinking about it or who is like on the fence, of course, you're free to DM me, but, you just have to be willing to take a chance on yourself. You take a chance on everything else. And I'm not saying that, I mean, it's a substantial amount of money, but not compared to like what you're going to make in your first year.
I mean, the best investment is in yourself. That investment I paid 23 years ago.
Yeah.
Brought back $17 million, but it brought back freedom.
Yeah.
You buy your time back. So now, so you're training the students. Can you tell us, for the people out there, a typical day?
Okay, a typical day, let's say a Tuesday, we start at 9 a.m. So we start on our acrylic practice sheets. One of the things that I noticed about a lot of students or graduates that would come to my salon, they would say they knew I do acrylic, but they really didn't. And they weren't really comfortable. So our first day, we're on the practice sheets, we're working with acrylic, we're, working with brushes, just holding their hands and just kind of walking them through it. Because by the time we're done, I need to know that when you go somewhere and you tell someone that you went to Buff Beauty Academy, that you know everything that you need to know. And I tell my students, don't even go interview anywhere, because they're going to come get you. They're going to know if I, signed off on you that you are about your business. And then, like I've told Raven and the other young ladies, now you can write down and say, this is what I do, this is what I do. And you can write your own ticket. Whereas before, they could kind of give you whatever and you kind of had to accept it. But when you leave here, not only was it an investment in yourself, but you could now, like a lot of times, go and for my students, know more than the owners of the companies that they're going to, or the salons they're going to work at. And that's for real.
Hey, I believe you.
Yeah.
Now,
and that's my intent. And if I don't do that, like this week, I've been saying to them, if there's anything that I didn't teach you that you want to know, write it down and we're going to cover it. Even if you're done, I'm going to make sure that you know it, because I want you to feel like you had a very thorough education with me.
Now, how has it been going around town being a school owner? Because when you become a school owner, it's different than a salon owner, and people view you different. And a lot of times they treat you different, sometimes better and sometimes worse.
Yeah. So I've had a few experiences like that recently. I was in Starbucks and I think I had this on, or maybe the hoodie, and a guy, you know, we were in there and he was saying, oh, so like, what do you do? I said, oh, I own a school. And he was like, you own a school? Because I was buying a bunch of stuff and he was like, well, what is this for? I said, oh, for my students. He's like, so you're a teacher? I said, no, I own the school. He's like, oh, you own the school. Yeah, I own the school. Actually, I own the school. Yeah, yeah. My husband's wife is rich. No. Yeah, so that's been a little different. And then, you know, just like when we go out to dinner, like a lot of times I'll tell people we're celebrating something, and the guys will, you know, the waiters or servers will be like, oh, what are you celebrating? It's like, we opened a school. And they just be like, what? You opened a school? Like, that's just crazy. You opened a school. So yeah, it's been really different. It's been a little quiet on the friend front, but that's okay. That's okay. That's expected.
People shoot at eagles, but they pigeons.
Yeah, that's, I mean, but it was expected. You prepared me for all of it, so it was expected.
Yeah, that comes with the.
I have a couple of good friends though. One is like my banker. The other one is my insurance agent. You know, my business manager. So
now, did anybody doubt you or anything? Did you hear any of that? Or
they know not to say that to me. They probably did. They probably were, but I think as of like last year and maybe the year before, I had started doing like some personal work. Obviously, I think I told you, like, I started going to therapy a couple years ago, but I started doing more personal work with like a business coach and a money coach. So my mindset was different. So even if someone had thought that they could tell me that, like, no. They may have said things like, are you sure? Like, that's a lot of money. Are you, like, basically like asking me, am I sure that I can handle it? And I've said, like, I've done more for less. So there's that. Yeah. So I feel like very blessed to be here every day. I walk in my school and I'm just like, wow, this is mine. And so now I've hired an additional teacher because I have so many students that I have to have some help. So
now, how did you get all them students so fast?
Well, you know, you did my ClickFunnels for me, which has been very helpful. I also had a great team that built my website that is very, I feel like, interactive. And I feel like people who, even if they had never been my client, I think like my brand has been consistent, that I'm about education, that I like the best things, that I use the best products. So even if they weren't a fan, they knew my work and they knew my brand. And so people have referred people to me because of that, you know, so, and I mean, why not me? Right. Why not have a school full of women that trust me? I trust them. So I know, like I tell my students, like, I know that I'm doing the right thing because I'm doing it for the right place. You know, God put desire in my heart to do it. And it just seemed like it just happened like so fast. It just happened so fast.
Now, when you got your equipment and you were getting everything together, how were you feeling?
I was just feeling like, this is crazy. I was, so like my desk, we were all over, you know, we went to IKEA because I saw like Miss Cynthia, I got some IKEA desk, and a lot of the ladies who have schools, those are a good desk for students. They're very sturdy and whatnot. So the IKEA here, you know, we're in the middle of a pandemic, can't find desks. Everybody has desks for their kids. So I actually went to Detroit for Thanksgiving to visit my family, and we drove past the IKEA and I was just like, let's see if they have them. They had 15 desks. And I said, I need 15 desks. And I bought them and FedExed them home because there was no other way for me to get desks. And so it just kind of worked out perfectly. Yeah. But as I was getting stuff, like I went through Buy Right, like you said, and got a few things. And then the place where I'm at, they were very open to it. They had never experienced dealing with someone who was opening a school, but you know, my credit and my worthiness, I guess, said that I could do it. So I signed a lease and it just happened very fast. And they did a lot of the upfit for me, you know, like special, like premium flooring, and they painted and, you know, that kind of stuff. I negotiated a good deal.
Okay. And how did you feel about all your paperwork and stuff?
My contracts, I felt pretty comfortable with it because, you know, I've had my salon uptown for 7 years, and then I've been in business here in Charlotte for 12 years. But as far as like the business plan and the things that you provided, the enrollment form, I use the enrollment form every day. I did have to kind of tweak some things because it wasn't nail driven necessarily, but it was like click, you know, every time I would want to call you and be like, you like cut, copy, paste, cut, copy, paste. So me and my husband were very comfortable with the documentation and the paperwork and stuff. And State Board was pleased when they came and did my audit, or my opening audit, I guess you would say.
Now it's a lot of people on here. What would you like to share with them? Like, can you talk about that mindset? Because that's important.
Mm-hmm.
When you had that coach and mindset.
Mm-hmm. So one of my coach's main thing is like, you can do almost anything if your mindset is right. Like if you're doubting yourself, if you think you can't do it, then you can't do it. More than just saying like the power of what you want is in your tongue, but like you really have to embody the energy of what you want, like visualize yourself there. So once I decided I was going to do it, like I would visualize myself teaching. I would visualize myself in a classroom. I started driving around like this is going to be where my school is. You know, I'm going to have students. I'm going to have a full classroom. The first class, I think because I was unsure of myself, I didn't even really hold the energy of having a full classroom because I didn't know that I could handle it, you know. Not just financially, it was just like a lot of women, and people would be like, oh my God, you're gonna have all those women and all that energy. I mean, we get along great. I've not had any problems in our school. I haven't had any like meltdowns or anything like that. Have we?
No.
Okay. Yeah. No fighting, none of that stuff. So, you know, none of the things that you hear about, you know, Black women working together or going to school together or that kind of stuff. It has been a very pleasant experience for me and hopefully for my students. But I have, you know, talked to them about setting intentions for what they want. And once you set the intention, visualizing yourself doing that, just, you know, just being more positive. And a lot of times, you know, women don't have people that speak life into them like that freely. Let me just say that. So I feel very fortunate to have been able to do that and to have been in the right space myself to be able to freely give to them without feeling like they're going to take from me. You know, a lot of times Black women or women in general have trust issues, you know, just because of experiences that we've had. And I that has not been my experience here.
So it sounds like you got a school, a ministry, you got a lot. Business.
Yeah.
Mama, you're everything now.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so yeah, I have a name. You know, I'm Nana. Everyone there, you know, we got an auntie, we got a sis, a mom, we got the salon manager. So I'm Nana since I'm the oldest one in the building. So so that's been really different, but it's really been a fun ride. On our late days, we, you know, like do a Slurpee run or whatever, because, you know, sometimes the days get long, you need to break up the monotony. So it's been really good having my students.
How's your husband been since you opened the school?
He's been good. He's been good. He, you know, he comes up here and he helps. He's, you know, I make him stay in the office. He does the IT thing and then he's out the door. He doesn't like hang around, but he has come to get services and stuff. And, you know, he likes to tell people that we own a school. He has business cards. That was the other thing, you know, like he wanted business cards. I'm like, well, what do I put? So I think his says something like business strategist or something like that. Yeah. Because my mom was like, what are you gonna put? Vice principal? He knows nothing about the industry, you know, like helping me and stuff. So everyone has a title, but so my mom is like, I'm advisory council president, and my daughters, you know, because we have a nonprofit attached to the school where people have actually donated to the school, and I've given the money, like bought other things for the students that weren't part of their kits with the money. So everybody is playing a part, you know.
Mm-hmm. Now, how are the clients?
The clients at the school?
Yeah, when they come, how are they?
Yeah. Well, Raven has a lot of clients, and they all have brought clients in, and you know, and I tell them you have to have clients, or you know, like you're not gonna graduate. But I mean, clearly I can't like hold them to that. They gotta stay. So you know, but they've had clients, and Raven has done like services that kind of pushed her that she hadn't thought that she would be able to do before. And, you know, Nay, her mom has come, and Sierra's mother and grandmother and, you know, family members have come and support them and things like that. So, you know, it's been really nice seeing their family come. And, you know, even though like the first couple of weeks, they was looking a little rough, I'd have to jump in there and be like, let me help you out. But, you know, it's been good. So.
So what would you like to tell some of the people out here that are working in the shop and they have a dream of becoming a school owner? When did you first start thinking about, I mean, was it just a year ago, or did you think about it before then?
Yeah, so a couple of years ago, I had a client who, you know, has a tax business, and she had, you know, a bunch of money that she thought that she wanted to invest in something. And so I was like, oh, maybe we can open a school. But I know the time wasn't right because the situation wasn't going to be right. So it didn't happen, but I still kind of kept it in the back of my mind of this is what I wanted to do. So I think it was just a matter of finding the right vehicle and the right time. I hadn't met you. I really would have been opening a school and not knowing anything of what to do at all. So to the people who, I guess, to answer your question, who are in a salon, who are thinking like, I want to open a school, I want to do it. If that's really your desire and it's aligned with serving people and you're doing it from the right place, you'll be able to do it. It'll happen for you.
But you did it during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Some people would say that's crazy.
It probably is. But it wasn't for me. It just happened so easy. I mean, I think the one thing about the pandemic, because the nail salons was shut down, it did give me time to kind of stop and reflect and just really think about like, where do I want to go next with my career? And, you know, especially after a lot of people weren't coming back as fast, you know, I went from, I mean, I was still making good money, but I still hadn't seen a lot of my clients that I was normally seeing like every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks when we came back. And then I was just like, this is crazy. Like, you know, I don't want to do this anymore. Especially after I, you know, start challenging the board. I was just like, oh, I'm out of here. You know, I don't have to do this anymore. And I'm actually working an extra day that I wasn't working when I was in the salon, but I'm not tired. You know, I in the salon was working Wednesday through Saturday. And I've added Tuesday to my schedule so my students can be able to get out faster. But working Tuesdays has not proven to be an issue for me.
How was working in the owning your salon? You still own it, but working in there, because you had a big clientele.
Yeah.
It had to be kind of taxing on your body. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it was taxing. Like, you know, a few years ago, I stopped doing pedicures because my back would be hurting. I was losing strength in my hands, you know, by the end of the week. Like, I really just didn't have any strength in my hands. I mean, I'm 53. So my body was, you know, on the outside, maybe looking young, but not feeling young when I was going home at night and getting massages and just trying to do so many like things to remedy the pain that I was feeling. And I just knew that I didn't want to be like, oh, you know, Miss Chris, the old lady that used to be, you know, they used to do nails. Oh, she used to do my grandma's nails, and she used to do, you know, I'm starting to hear now, like, oh, she's been doing my nails since I was in 8th grade, you know, because I've been here, you know, 13 years. I'm like, dang, eighth grade. And so now it's like those ones who I did their nails in 8th and 9th grade, now they can be my students if that's what they want.
So how does your body feel now?
Oh, I feel great. I feel great. I don't feel like, and actually I'm not even like going to therapy the way I was. Cause you know, like when you have clients and they're just venting all the time and telling you all their problems, then you start realizing, shit, I got problems too. or are my problems not as bad or whatever. So yeah, I'm not having to like go and just vent about my clients and just vent about like people being ungrateful and, you know, feeling resentful, feeling like taken advantage of. Oh, Tammy Taylor is texting me right now. Hold on. I'm sorry. We'll call her back. You know, a lot of times feeling resentful that I'm there so much, or, you know, just that people sometimes take advantage of you. So I feel great.
I might have asked you earlier. So when your clients actually saw that you weren't gonna do their nails no more, where did they? Because I know when you're good at what you do, your clients sometimes feel like they own you. Did you have any like that?
Yeah, I still do. So I kind of said, because I wasn't really sure, and I know that you know, talked about, you know, in the beginning when school was slow for you, you still were doing your clients, and long as a student was sitting there, you could still do them. And so you were still able to make money, right? But when I opened my school, I was so busy with my students, I didn't really have time to do that. And I was trying to empower my salon manager by, you know, she started around the time that I knew that I was opening a school. I had told her, but told her don't tell anybody. So I started trying to migrate a lot of my clients to her, but they were like, well, no, we're going to just go to you. And then, so when December came and I knew I was opening in January, I was like, no, you're going to have to go to her, because I started closing off my books. It was not necessarily a nice situation. And some have stayed with her at the salon and some have not. And that's been a little, you know, heartbreaking, I guess, because I feel like if you support me, you support my business. But I understand, like, it's a personal service and they just didn't have the connection with her, or, you know, that they had with me over the years. And some of it was probably like therapy for them, me, you know, doing their nails and stuff. So I have had 3 of my clients that were at the salon that I've had come here for a demo, right? Because I needed to show certain things and I knew like they'd be down for whatever, you know, so I text them at 5 a.m, like, hey, you want to get your nails done? And they haven't had their nails done. They're like, yeah, I'm on my way, I'll be there. So that's been really good. And I let them talk to my students and explain to them, you know, why you came to me for so long, or what was it about me that, you know, you found me. And my students would even, you know, ask them questions like, you know, why did you like going to her? Or, you know, what was it about her or her service or what have you? And most of them, again, don't have nails on, or didn't have nails on before I let them come. So now the conversation is like, okay, so you use me as a demo. So like, can I come back? You know, when can I come back? So I'm trying to, you know, figure that out, because now my seniors are graduating and my new people aren't doing acrylic yet. So I can't just be doing acrylic and they're on manicures, you know? So, you know, it's a blessing either way.
Now, we got a lot of questions. Do you have time to answer some questions?
Yeah. And I want my students to answer some questions too.
Yeah, well, we want to hear from them.
Okay.
Raven, can you tell us a little bit about your journey here at the school and Miss Chris?
Well, yes. I've been applying to, looking for nail schools prior to Miss Chris' announcement that she was opening up Buff Academy. So a lot of schools were telling me that they had a wait list until 2021 or 2022, or, you know, that they weren't accepting any students. You know, the classes were small because of COVID restrictions and everything like that. And so I think it was the day that she went on live and announced that her opened in the school, I had just told myself that, you know, I was just going to give up and, you know, maybe this is not something that was for me. And maybe like an hour later, a notification went off on my phone and she was on live and she opened it. And I swear she couldn't even get off the live first before I sent my message to her and said, I need a spot.
Yeah.
I need to come to your school because I've been looking for this. So it was just an easy process because, you know, she was so open. Like I was able to ask her questions and I hadn't even give her a dime yet. So I had all these questions about nail, you know, techniques and everything like that. She answered everything and she just seemed like she was so open and I could talk to her about anything. So I just knew it was the right choice.
Okay. And you had just graduated from college?
Yes, so I graduated from UNCC in January. I've been going to UNCC for 2 years. I went to community college before that, and I majored in a business administration and supply chain management. So I always wanted to have my own business, but I just needed to figure out what exactly that I wanted to do with it. And I knew I was creative and, you know, I love beauty and everything that has to come with it. So that's basically how I made my choice.
Oh, wow. So you graduated with business administration.
With a concentration in supply chain management.
Okay.
So the first time that I talked to Raven, you know, I asked her, you know, a lot of the questions that we talk about, like, you know, so what do you plan on doing with this? And, you know, why do you want to do this? Because I just, you know, didn't want to waste my time and didn't want to waste her time. You know, she's a smarty pants, right? And, you know, she's graduating like, and because she was literally graduating the week before we opened. And I wanted to make sure it was going to be a good fit for her. I knew that, you know, she had just spent a lot of money going to a state college and my school is not cheap. And, you know, just wanted to make sure that we were going to be a good fit. And she told me about what her goals were and things she wanted to do. And, you know, I told her I'd be there to help her do that. And she came and signed up and we were ready to go.
Now, who we got next, Sierra or Nate?
Sierra.
Yeah.
Sierra.
So
It's
Sierra, tell us a little bit about.
Well, I think me and Raven have kind of like the same story. I was working at Wells Fargo for like 3 years. And so I had went out for like a minor surgery. And then while I was sitting at home, I was like, you know what, I really don't want to go back to corporate America. Like I've always wanted to be like do nails, do stuff like that. And I needed a way to do it. And I was looking at schools, and then one of the girls that I used to work with had shared Miss Chris's grand opening. I was like, because this came right on time. Let me go ahead and so I had watched like her live where she was like going to the grand opening and did all this stuff. And so I think like a week later after the grand opening, I had like got on the website. And I didn't know, like every time I got on the website, Miss Chris would get a notification. So one day she emailed me, she was like, ma'am, like, what are you playing? So I came up here and I had paid for my registration and all that. And now 300 hours later, I'm here.
Yeah. So the people who built my website, like I get a notification every time someone lands on the page. So I'm like on it because I wanted to make sure that I'm, you know, talking with them, interacting with them, answering any questions or what have you. So when people get on the website, a lot of times it's like me, like, okay, what do you need? Class is filling up. What do you want to do? And so she kept getting on there like all the time. And I'm just like, what is it that you want? Like, are you like a stalker or do you want to go to school? I mean, because, you know, it shows me like every page that they're going, like, you know, how you talk about the windows or no, was it pixels you say, right? So it follows them all around. I'm like, why is she just like on my page, like going, touching stuff? Like, what do you want? Just pay your money.
Here I am.
Yeah. So here they are.
And we got, who is that over there?
Renee.
So Nate was the one that had never picked up.
Okay. No, I never picked up a brush. Yeah, she had never picked up a brush before. And Nay came and we were starting school the day after her birthday, but she had come like the day before, and she said, you know, I want to come, but do I have to start on the 26th, right? Your birthday's 26th. I have to start on 26th because that's my birthday. And I was like, well, why wouldn't you start on the 26th? It's your birthday, you should start. But then she like texted me like, oh, I'm not gonna come on that day. I'll be there the day after. So, but Nay has been like really going for it. She's been showing up every day. We did have a little, you know, because the people think they can just show up whenever they want. You know, but we had a little principal conference, and you know, I told her about like how much potential she had, and like, you spending your money, so you need to come. And you know, even if you're the only person in class, because some days it would be like that, you know, especially with the virtual. I said, even if you're the only one in class, come, because there may be something that I can teach you that day when you're here by yourself that I'm not teaching everybody else. You know, come and get these nuggets every day. And so she started doing that, and you know, Nay has really impressed me a lot. I'm really proud of these three. They were like my first three that paid, but even more than that, the first three that really trusted me with their new career. So I'm excited.
You'll never forget them. You'll never forget
No,
that.
they're not gonna let me anyway.
No.
So yeah. So what we do, Chen, you know, because I really like to celebrate everything. I love to
I know
celebrate.
you do. You'd like to do it big, Chris.
Yeah, I do. So Nay, her graduation is on our page. So Nay got like a bottle of boob, and we had cake, and you know, we partied it up for her day. And then by the end of that day, we realized Sierra was going to be done the following day. So we did it all again. And Raven will be done tomorrow morning, probably about maybe about 11 o'clock or something like that, because we're here on live, so she's getting these hours. So we're gonna have a party for Raven on Friday, and you know, they'll come and celebrate. We'll have champagne. Actually, we've been drinking champagne tonight because we're trying to stay awake to be here for you. So we've already like celebrated together, the three of us, or the four of us rather. We're celebrating Raven, and we have one more that'll be graduating probably in about a week and a half. And our graduation brunch, like I said, is on April 11th, and just so excited to be able to just like celebrate with these ladies, you know, celebrating me actually doing this, and then celebrating them actually setting a goal for themselves, and you know, really changing the trajectory of what's going to happen for their families.
Now you got a lot of questions. I don't know if you have time to answer them.
I got time.
Okay.
I got time.
Somebody said, how many hours do your students start out on the practical side?
Okay, so in the state of North Carolina, you have to have 300 hours, clock hours. So they can do 90 hours virtual. So they have to do 210 hours on the floor and practical. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you got a lot of people, a lot of them saying congratulations. Okay, thanks for sharing with us. Did you need to get a loan to start your nail school, or did you self-finance? And did you start off as an accredited school? If not, how did your students pay?
Okay.
Thanks for answering questions.
Okay, thank you so much. We are a private school. Our tuition is $3,500. I didn't get any loans. I'm self-funded. I did receive a small business grant, a small business innovation grant from the city of Charlotte. And that was for $10,000, but $10,000 doesn't go very far when you're opening a school. My mom bought all of the desks and all of the chairs. Yeah, so that's her classroom. Yeah, but so I mean, it just has happened just so like easily. Yeah, it has not been hard for me to do this. So my first class, like I said, was 8 students, and currently I have in my new class 13 students, and I'm just waiting for them to be done so I can get 3 more. So state board says I can have 20 in the day and 20 in the night. If I can find another instructor, I will run another program at night, so then I'll have 40 students. That's my plan.
You can do it. I mean, I ran a day and night class. I did that for a couple of years.
Yeah, so that's what I would like to do.
Now, he said, did you start off as an accredited school?
No. So in the state of North Carolina,
And that's
out of-
everywhere. You
Oh,
can't.
okay, everywhere. So no, I didn't start out as an accredited school. As Chen has probably told you, and you've probably watched his lives, you know, it takes about 18 months to even start the process for accreditation. But because the nail program is only 300 hours, we can't get accredited. So it's going to be private funding. Even if I added an additional 10%, that's only 330 hours. So it's not enough. And, you know, maybe soon we'll add the aesthetics to it, and we will be able to do that.
Okay, let's see. Such an awesome testimony. My question is, can I open a barber school even though I'm a hairstylist? We don't have a barber school in my area. Well, you got to have a licensed barber instructor. Anybody can open a school. They got to have a licensed instructor to teach. Somebody said, absolutely, you're proof of what can happen. Congratulations. You're awesome. Somebody said, wow, 𝗕𝗿𝗄𝗃. That was a school to attend when I was growing up here in Los Angeles. Mariana was very popular too.
My mom taught at the 𝗕𝗿𝗄𝗃 and the Marinello in Inglewood off of Manchester. So yeah, old school.
How did you become a Tammy Taylor person?
So I have been using the Tammy Taylor products. I have been using, right, because they don't usually like us. They don't look like me. They don't usually like me. So I have been using the Tammy Taylor products for, you know, probably about 15, 20 years. And then I went to the premiere show and I was walking around and her assistant walked up to me and said, are you Chris from Buff Salon? And I said, yes, because I would use it and just always tag her. And she's like, Tammy wants to meet you. And I felt like I had just met Jesus, because, you know, like when you see someone's picture on a product and you see, like, you know, she used to send literature and things and newsletters with her stuff. I'm just like, wow, someone actually sees what I'm doing. And I remember leaving off the trade show floor at the premiere and going to the bathroom and calling my husband. And I was like crying, like, oh my God, Tammy knew who I was. And she gave me her number and she told me to call her. And within that year, I had got certified to be an educator and was part of her education team. And that was a really crazy ride. So I joined her staff doing business development, developing products for her company. And then I was the first person that she ever did a collaboration with. So she did a polish and powder line. Well, I created it, but it was like a Buff Salon Tammy Taylor collaboration. And the proceeds from it went to the Southeastern Michigan Boys and Girls Club in my name. So that's when I feel like things start to really turn around. Like, not only do the people in my community see me, but like people in the industry really see that I'm doing the work, and they're watching. So
somebody said, can you tell us about your experience with student-teacher relations? I like the relationship you have with your students.
Yeah. So the student-teacher relations with my students is one, I think, really, first of all, built in trust, right? And would you say?
Yeah.
Built in trust. I've been very like transparent with them about my experiences and what I've done and places I've been. I freely share. And, you know, like a lot of them share their personal situations with me, and they don't go any further than that. It's not like the client tech dynamic is a little bit deeper than that, because, you know, sometimes this may be the last money that they have that they are really kind of like putting out there to go to school, right? And then also some of their families may never have even believed in them to do something like this, you know. And so every day when they come, you know, and I'm doing it from the right place, but I'm telling them, like, you can do this. Like, I know that there's people that don't believe that you can do this, but I see you every day and you're doing it. I'm gonna make sure that we prove them wrong. So I think would that be accurate? Yeah. So we have a good time together. We have a mutual respect for each other. I think our relationship will be a little different now that they're graduating, because like today it's already gotten a little different, because I'm not a drinker. So, and Raven popped the bottle and we're, you know, I'm nursing a glass with them. So yeah.
Did you shop around for the affordable building for your school? Tell us about that, please.
No, I didn't shop around for affordable building. I asked God to just give me the building that I wanted, and he did. I did drive around looking at a few spaces, and I called one real estate company, and they didn't talk the way I wanted to hear. And then I had a client who has a dance studio, and I asked her, you know, who's the company that owns, you know, the property where you are? And she's on the other side of town. And I called them, and they said, well, we have something that's, you know, off of 85. And it wasn't an area that I necessarily knew about, because I never even come down this street. This is not like where I would come, but it's proven to be like a perfect location. There's plenty of parking. The classroom sizes are perfect. And the price was good. I feel like the price was fair for, you know, what it is and where I'm at. And it's clean. I feel like it's safe. And I didn't shop around a long time. I think the most important thing, like I said before, when you hold the energy of what you really want and you visualize yourself there, it's not going to take long. You just got to get out of your own way and allow it to happen. Because it just really, honestly, just kind of happened so fast. It was happening fast. Yeah.
You probably opened that school quicker than you opened your salon, maybe.
Yeah, I did. Because my build out for my salon was like 3-4 months. And okay, and conversely, they gave me 3-4 months credit, you know, so I did drag my feet a little bit. Here, they were like, we'll give you 1 month credit, but they did all the build out for me. So I didn't really have to go find, you know, Pookie and Ray Ray to do a lot of my construction stuff. I did have one Pookie, and he acted a fool for about a day. And I was just like, no, I'm going to just go get somebody to do it the right way. And, you know, if I have to pay, I just have to pay. Because a lot of times that's the hang up. Like, I don't want to pay. This is too much. But I knew, you know, if I invested in my school would be paying me back. So.
Now, somebody said, if I get an SBA loan to establish my school, can it be forgiven?
You need to talk to your business professional for that. Because I think the way the SBA loans go for the PPP, the business already has to be established. But yeah.
Let me see. I'm trying to see if I see any other questions up here. Can you tell us about the, okay. What would you recommend? What would you tell a new school owner, somebody thinking about doing this? They're scared.
Go for it. I mean, I would just say, go for it. Don't worry about if people believe in you, support you. There's going to be people cheering you on that you don't even know. I get messages all the time about people saying, you know, I love what you're doing. I see you, you know, congratulations. Or they're congratulating the, you know, the young ladies when we have their graduation party. I usually go live, and people are just out there just sending them so many well wishes and good vibes. So don't worry about if the people in your family don't support you, because they've never seen anybody like you do this. But you can be the first person in your family to do it. Like, who thought you would own 17 schools?
Well, I didn't own 17. I made $17 million from the school.
Okay, 17 million from, but who would have even thought that? You know, who would have ever thought that? Yeah, they're like, did he say 17 million?
I mean, that was kind of a lot, but even when everybody on this live, when you start making that type of money, still live below your means. See, I still live with my mama at that time in a little bitty room and drove a Toyota Camry. I still drive a Toyota Camry to this day with 155,000 miles. So I took
Don't you have like a Maserati in your garage or something?
That was sold that. That was one of my friends.
Right,
but,
I remember.
I took that money and started buying land and building houses.
Okay.
So I actually made more from that part than the school. So when y'all start making money, take that money and invest it in something else that can break generational curses. And you can retire your mom or whoever. So yeah, but the school thing is great. And y'all in a great industry. I know she talked about she graduated from college. Heck, I graduated from college. Have I used that degree? No. They talked about the beauty industry. You're gonna do this and do that. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Multi-billion-dollar industry.
Yeah.
And you're gonna always make money in this industry. People always gonna want their nails done, their hair, face. So
Well, our jobs can't be outsourced.
no, a robot can't take our job. Computer
Yeah.
can't take our job.
Yeah.
We got some other questions. Let's see. I'm thinking about doing one trainings. Do you think it's a good idea as owning a complete beauty school?
One-on-one training. I mean, I still do one-on-one classes. Actually, I did one a couple of weeks ago. I actually feel like now that I own a school, it makes it more credible and I can really ask for the price that I want. So I had, 4 people in my class and it was $500 each. And it was, 6 hours and that was a good day. That was a Sunday.
It was a good day.
That was a good day. Yeah.
Okay, future. All right. If you're interested, you can DM me. Let's see some other questions on here. Okay, somebody say your thoughts. Renting or owning your building when first starting your school?
So, obviously owning, if you have a school, if you have a building to do that. I don't own my building, but I also don't have to worry about the upkeep of my building. The last thing that I want to worry about right now is a roof or a floor or windows or anything like that. I want to really put my energy into educating and teaching my students and preparing them for the future. So if I am able to find a building that I can purchase in the future, I would love to do that. But for right now, renting is not bothering me and I'm going to write it off anyway.
Okay. How is student attendance? Can you recommend ways to ensure students pay tuition?
Lord. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we need a new live for this one. So, obviously we're in a, COVID pandemic state as far as people being able to be virtual, right? So I tell people all the time, it's a gift that State Board is allowing you to do virtual 90 hours. But Chan, I have to be honest, a lot of people don't even take advantage of it. I'm like, take advantage of the 90 hours. I don't care. Like, you should leave school and go online and do some virtual, but they're not really doing that. Today we had a conversation in the new class and I told them, look, your path to 300 is your path to 300. I don't care how you get there, but you just need to get there. I do have a couple of students that I probably should have been a little more, would you say, strict about the attendance, because we have adults and I just didn't think like I needed to say like, you need to be here every day or whatever. Like, you paid your money. Like, they're still paying their money and they're not coming. So I don't think there's anything in the blueprint that talks about that, but I'm just like, I'm just going with it. Like,
there's nothing in the blueprint that talks about that.
Yeah. So there are people who are out here, they say they want to come to school. School is open. I'm here every day. We're here every day and they pay their money and then they don't come. And so,
every school you're going to have that.
Yeah.
It's like church. You're going to have some people that come, some, that's everywhere. Nothing's 100%.
And I'm not even taking it personal.
Yeah. They're grown.
Still getting paid. And boys are still getting paid. So I'm not even taking it personal. But I would have taken it personal, before, because I really want them to learn, like I'm really investing myself and I want them to get it. I really do want them to get it. But if they don't want it, it's not much I can do about that.
Yeah, everybody's not going to get it.
Yeah.
You can't force them to drink it. You can lead them to the water.
Yeah.
Let's see. As long as you help one, well, you've helped 3 right there.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
The
Supremes. Yeah. Well, actually, Destiny's Child. This is Beyonce right here. Yeah, you get to be.
How are you finding your students and how are you handling the payment plan?
Okay, I'm not finding my students. My students are finding me. I think that I am being aligned with the right students, right? And they're just finding me. Similar to when you're in the salon, how you find your ideal client. or your ideal client finds you. It has just been happening like that. I mean, you definitely weed out the riffraff when your price is more than everybody else's. And, you know, but that doesn't seem to be a problem right now. But I feel like I can justify my price being more in the area that I'm at. I'm really the only nail school that has a professional that has actually worked in the nail industry, that has been a nail professional, not just, you know, in the school because my family owned the school and just teaching. I have like a proven track record. I own a salon. So I feel like I can ask for a higher price point because of what I'm providing to my students, as well as like having guest speakers come in and people in the industry to come in and just kind of pour into them and let them know, like, you know, you are at a good place, and have been able to help with like job placement for Raven and for these young ladies. And so the right students are finding me. The right students are finding me.
We stuck for life.
Yeah, we're stuck
Yeah.
for life. We're a family.
Oh, okay. They keep asking. I know Takenya has a school in Albany, Georgia. She said, yes, I have something to do that. When they miss so many days or tired, I counsel them. Then I put it in writing. Then I put them on leave. Then I drop them so another student can start.
Yeah, because that's what I need to do.
Nay, she said, this question is for the students. What made you decide to choose Buff Beauty?
Well, let's see, Sierra answer that one first.
Well, one, I know you the best, Buff. I mean, you have built yourself, you built your brand over the years, and everything that you've been doing over these years has paid off for you now. You planted these seeds years ago.
Yes.
But let's hear from the student.
Well, the question was,
Why
what
you
made
think
me choose Buff Beauty?
Yeah.
Oh, well, what made me choose Buff Beauty is because, for one, she's Black owned and she's a woman. And for two, when I drove into the parking lot, I felt like I was at home. Like, I felt like I could leave like my problems or whatever outside or even at the door, like, and I'll be okay. Like, it was stuff that Miss Chris would tell me that I just wrestled with in myself, and she would just look me like in my face and be like, you got this. I'm like, but how did you know? Like, so I just felt like she's a part of my life now. Like, she's family to me now. So, I mean, we here. I got all her numbers. I know where she at. I'm gonna pull up. So I'm here.
Who we got? Raven.
Well, again, I definitely appreciated seeing someone like me, you know, doing this. I have a client, an older client, who always says that, you know, like, she's just amazed by getting her nails done by a Black woman. Like, she's just like, I never knew that a Black woman would know how to do nails or could do nails or anything like that. And of course, it could feel like a dagger or feel like trigger something in you, but it's just like, well, I have to think about it. Maybe that's all she knew. She was just going to Asian people to get her nails done. So, you know, just being able to see Miss Chris do this, you know, it's inspiring. And that really was like the number one reason for me to come here.
Okay. We got, who is that? Is that Nay or Sierra?
That's Nay over here.
Nay. What they want to know, what made you decide to choose Buff Beauty Academy?
I chose Buff Beauty Academy because I just heard a lot about her. Somebody referred me to her.
Yeah.
And
Someone who was going to a different school.
yeah, we're going to a totally different.
Oh, wow.
Didn't learn much, so that's probably why. And I just feel like a vibe. It was a good vibe.
So somebody that went to another school done told you to come to her Chris school?
Yeah, because they wasn't like teaching what all she was teaching them. I mean, teaching like what she teach us. They wasn't getting it. They just get the basics, and they would just basically like stay bored. Like, they wasn't learning the outside what they need to learn.
Well, I guess that answered your question, Shanae Lynette. You got all these questions, Chris. Hey.
Well, I mean, they're for, you know, I'm I'm available if they want to DM me and ask me questions. They can DM me on Buff Beauty Academy NC or Buff Salon. But
how would you want to leave them? Because they'll try to keep you on here all night, Chris.
okay, so I just want to say again, thank you to everyone who came on Chin's Zoom. We were going to do it last week, but I knew that we would have Raven graduate, and I wanted her to participate. And you know, I really just want to celebrate, you know, these women who trusted me enough to, you know, believe in my dream and come here and invest in not just their future, but you know, my family's future as well. So if there's anyone who's like on the fence about whether they should do it, I mean, just take a chance on yourself, you know, take a chance on yourself and do something different for your family. You know, you can stand behind a chair for 20, 30 years. Let me just say this, Chin, you said last year in one of the lives, and I never thought about this, like, for some people, owning a salon is the pinnacle. Like, that's it.
Mhm.
But for some people, you feel chained to it, like you're gonna die there, right? And I was kind of starting to feel like you know, my salon was doing well and I could keep people there and my clients would probably be loyal forever, you know, a good portion of them, but I didn't want to die behind the chair because I knew that I had so much more to give. So if anybody that's out there is feeling like, you know, stifled in what they're doing, or they're doing education maybe for a distributor, but feel like they have more to give, really just kind of seek out people in your family or your bank, or to save your money and really just kind of start making a plan towards, you know, opening a school and serving the people who want you.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you, Miss Chris, Miss Sierra, Miss Raven, and Miss Nay. So as we leave,